What's up, nerd and nerdettes? Now that you're back, because you're the ones that left me, not the other way around, let's jump into the part that you guys have been waiting for, with part 2 of magnetism manipulation. Just a quick reminder, hit that like and subscribe button because it helps the channel, obviously. But on top of that, it'll remove these screws stuck to my back because of magnetism. And the support makes me feel special. Now, with the ability to manipulate magnetism comes the natural ability to attract and repel metallic or magnetic objects using a magnetic force, wave, or charge with magnetic attraction and repulsion. You can then use that ability to manipulate or move magnetic or metallic materials without physical influence except through magnetism itself via telekinesis. And let's be honest here, if the main effect of magnetism is manipulating metallic substances, with metal manipulation, the user can command magnetism to handle certain metals influenced by magnetic forces, from nickel, iron, steel, cobalt, etc. FYI, nearly all everyday machinery and household items are composed of these elements. But that simple ability allows the user to do almost anything, even something as simple as helping you pay a parking meter without having to move. As with this ability, you can lure in and control metallic coins and various forms of metal-based currency, regardless of whether they're magnetic metals or not, with coin magnetism. And let's be honest here, in order to do that, you would need to be able to pick up on and detect actual magnetic forces and all its variations with magnetic detection. And one of the main variations of magnetic detection is the ability to locate other machinery, materials, and or people near or miles away. You can then use this power to sense and read magnetic stimuli emitted from most, if not all, forms of organic and non-organic matter and paint a picture of the landscape with magnetoreception. From there, the user can create their own strong source of magnetism completely separate from outside sources, which beings do already, but on a much weaker scale. So long story short, having this power will put you in a way different league with magnetism generation. Well, now since you can generate more powerful magnetic fields, users at the next level, I guess the advanced level, can attack with, defend with, and control magnetic fields to perform specialized assault of an offensive nature with magnetic attacks. Well, what if you want to give your magnetic force increased density and mass to increase your attractive abilities? Well then, magnetism solidification sounds like something that you'll need. And from there, with your magnetism's increased density, use that increased attraction to manufacture organisms, structures, buildings, minions, shields, weapons, explosives, etc. with magnetokinetic construction. And since you're generating your own source of magnetism, you can add and intensify the magnetic properties of anything the user chooses to magnetize, such as turning a leaf into a potent magnet via magnetization. Or the inverse, you can remove the magnetic properties of permanent magnets, conductors, and minerals, which render them unable to attract metals or, in some cases, unable to conduct electricity via demagnetization. The user can then use metal manipulation to control magnetic fields within hardware, software, and motherboards, which allows them varying degrees of manipulation over relevant tech with technology manipulation. And due to nearly every machinery possessing magnetic or metallic alloys, users of magnetism manipulation can accidentally or intentionally disrupt smartphones, desktops, laptops, stoplights, and internal hardware of any miscellaneous gadget which turns themselves into a walking, talking EMP via electronic disruption. Higher level users, let's just say this is the expert tier, could go the opposite route and completely eliminate magnetism coming from an object or cancel natural magnetic fields as well as its effects, such as controlling the abilities mentioned previously with magnetism negation. Well, how would you counteract someone who can cancel outside sources of magnetism? Well, Look inward and use your natural magnetic field to increase specific physical and mental attributes using magnetism manipulation. Because remember, most creatures have a natural magnetic field already, so enhancing that with your powers will give you a magnetically enhanced condition. You can then infuse your life energy with the magnetic properties your powers possess, empowering yourself via a magnetic aura. And since it makes up their life energy now, why not just take it a step further and change your physical form into that of a magnetic field or a substance that has extreme magnetic properties via magnetism mimicry. And while we're at it, the user should be able to use their magnetic constitution to heal and mend those around them or heal themselves via magnetokinetic healing. And with magnetism infringement, you can reject the laws of magnetism and its properties being used against you. So if a user of this power taps into, let's just say, here's one, biomagnetism manipulation, then they can control the magnetic fields constantly emitted from living beings for a variety of effects. So for example, if you see yourself as a person with a lot of vitality and you want to use magnetism to rebuild yourself into a form you had prior to any damage you took, then with magnokinetic regeneration, you would pretty much be able to do that. And since you're using it to put yourself back together, you might as well use it to control the metallic particles within any living organism and then interfere with their sense of self and self-control, which in layman's terms allows you to control their movements with magnetic motor skill manipulation. While the best of the best, or those with master level proficiency, can completely ignore the natural effects of natural magnetism from a subatomic to planetary scale. This essentially makes them immune to most natural phenomena, laws of physics, and nature itself, as they would be able to magnetize without being magnetized themselves with magnetism defiance. But one of the results of that application is being able to manipulate the natural energy created from magnetic forces, which can then allow you to perform more complicated aspects of magnetism via magnetic energy manipulation. The manipulation of the product that magnetism gives off will allow you to do various different things. In some cases, it'll allow you to generate an electric field because magnetism and electricity go in hand. So we can add electricity generation and manipulation to that, as well as light generation, because electricity generates light. So yeah, you can then use all the previously mentioned applications and infuse magnetism into whatever combative capabilities you possess in perhaps one of the most disorienting ways to put hands on someone with magnokinetic combat. And from there, you can then use magnetism to enhance whatever locomotive capabilities you possess. Now, this can be done in one or two ways: by having the user scale obstacles that are magnetic, normally by using their feet, via magnetic walking, or if they prefer a bird's eye view, then they can use magnetism or magnetic fields to defy gravity, which will allow them to fly, glide, or levitate by riding along the natural magnetic fields that exist with magnetokinetic flight. But let's be honest here. If you're able to use the power of magnetism to hitch a ride, then you might as well go above and beyond and control the actual planet's magnetic field. So with geomagnetism manipulation, the user can do as such. But that application is not only limited to just Earth, but any solar object with a magnetic field, planets, moons, asteroids, comets, and everything else that exists. So have fun with that. And there you have it, magnetism manipulation in a nutshell. This ability is one of the more powerful abilities that do exist, but it still has its fair share of issues. A main one being that you may be limited to controlling existing natural magnetism, being unable to create your own source of magnetism, which is highly unlikely because we do that already. Remember, higher temperatures interfere with the natural flow of charged atoms, so it's likely difficult to manipulate molten metals, especially iron, with any kind of magnetism. Remember what I said earlier, certain magnetic effects change above certain temperatures. So if you exist within a region of extreme temperatures, magnetic fields themselves may become uncontrollable and/or unpredictable. If you're having trouble picturing that, think about how magnetic fields work on the sun versus the earth. You know, the sun's magnetic fields are a lot more powerful and chaotic because the sun's made of superheated gas, aka plasma, which is where solar flares and other solar phenomena come into play. And lastly, the user's own intelligence, skills, and willpower will determine how far one goes with an ability like this. So, have fun and get creative, because that's all you really got. And now, with all that out of the way, it's time to place this ability on the scale. Magnetism manipulation is pretty dang cool. It has a lot of applications and a lot of uses, and is pretty essential for day-to-day life nowadays. So, without any more filler, the Shey scaling system gives this power a steel sticking 8.5. Yes, this ability is the foot in the door to a lot more powerful abilities like electromagnetism, energy, and or molecular manipulation. Shoot, there are way more others too. But because plain old magnetism is affected by heat, there are dozens of powers that can counter it because they generate heat.